what is Japan doing to facilitate or prepare for reconstruction in Ukraine?
Ukrainians are very successful in making the defense technology come here and contribute to recovery of Ukraine.
Is your very strong position, I find, on the role of women.
Remarkable Ukrainian women, they are leading the country.
Masashi Nakagome is the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Japan to Ukraine, appointed in autumn 2024. He has been deeply involved in Japan-Ukraine cooperation in areas such as humanitarian demining, infrastructure, and budget support. Under his leadership, Japan committed a $3 billion loan to Ukraine under the G7 ERA initiative and has helped provide essential equipment, training, and financial aid. Ambassador Nakagome is co-chair of Ukraine's sectoral working group on humanitarian demining, emphasizing innovation and technology to restore safety in war-affected regions.
Hello, I am Natalka Cmoc. I am the Canadian Ambassador to Ukraine. You're listening to Off the Record. Today, I have the pleasure to have the Ambassador of Japan to Ukraine, Mr. Nakagome Masashi. Welcome. Please join us to the program today. Very excited to have you here. We are colleagues working already in the G7 group and a few many meetings where all the ambassadors always go. You had also very graciously joined on one of the conferences we were organizing on empowering women. And you are often asked to speak at many very conferences and so on. And I know that there is one topic that you are very passionate about, and it's a very important one, and that's humanitarian demining. There was a humanitarian demining disaster a few weeks ago, and the topic is very important. So with that, if I could ask you to maybe introduce yourselves and then take the opportunity to tell us a little bit of what's important to you in this current mandate.
Thank you, Natalka, for this opportunity. I'm very excited to be here, and it's my first time to be in the podcast, so I'm a bit nervous, but I'm very pleased to be, having this important time with you. I came here, last October, so about a year ago.
Almost a year? Well, yes, a year.
Yeah. Before coming here, I was, in Tokyo and doing job related to Ukraine, and now here in Ukraine. And I'm very excited to be here. And one of the, main, thing I'm doing for the last year is actually preparation for the Demining conference, next month,
where is it being held?
Yeah, it's going to be held in Tokyo in October 22 and 23 in Tokyo. And as you know, that Ukraine is the world's most mined country. More than 20% of the territory is mined. So, and if it is, if it taken usual way that 100 years will be needed to remove all the mines, but Ukrainians have been very successful in accelerating the demining, and we are hoping that this conference in Tokyo will be an opportunity to refocus attention to this often unfortunately neglected issue of demining.
So for Canada, it is also a very important area. We support many organizations. Many organizations have reached out to me to say that they will be attending the conference. So I really hope that it achieves the objectives you want, because I agree it is tragically sad to watch children, adults, lost to something so horrible, since many of these mines are camouflaged in a way and almost intentionally trying to attract children and adults. And I always feel bad because when I hear the stories of mushroom pickers being casualties, because the priority often is on agricultural land for obvious reasons. But of course, Ukrainians will not, nothing will prevent Ukrainians from mushroom picking. It's a very, very important to Ukrainians. And I believe mushrooms are also very important to Japanese.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it's... It is difficult to prevent people from going. So what is the objective of the conference?
Yeah, I think, the conference in Tokyo, the main focus is to accelerate, the demining. And we put 3 pillars, people, technology, and nexus. And, 3 enablers will accelerate, the demining. I think, that Ukraine, for the past 3.5 years, Ukraine has shown, their remarkable ability in, for example, in the defense sector. I think, that this success can be utilized in demining sector. That Ukrainians' ability in digitalization, drones, this is very important in demining as well. They, now Ukrainians government has started to, try some use of, drones and AIs and new technologies, and this can facilitate and make it much faster and safer.
So I know that you've brought business delegations here, or you've accompanied a lot of business delegations here. Is this an area where you imagine will be more joint ventures between Japanese businesses and Ukrainian businesses, or at this point is it still mostly government-to-government discussions on humanitarian demining?
Oh, I think business is also very important, area that as the conference is to be held in Japan, in Tokyo, that business involvement is one of the factors we'd like to promote, and we are also inviting not just Japanese companies but companies from around the world, and many international companies are also keen. But important thing is Ukrainians are keen to make this sustainable or localized, so that they can continue this. I mentioned about Ukraine's great success in defense sector. Ukrainians are very successful in making the defense technology almost nothing to make it almost 50 or 60% of the defense technology, that the equipment is now produced in Ukraine. And also I think in the mining field that it's very important to localize and make it their own actors and companies are going to demine Ukraine. Yeah? Of course, it's very important. International conference and international cooperation is important in the mining field, but to make it localize and make it sustainable is very important. And to do that, I think the business-to-business cooperation is very important.
Yes. So what I'm hearing, it's for government to government, or various governments who have committed to this, businesses who are involved, and businesses for whom it is critical to have demining for food, for example, agriculture, and NGOs. We know that a lot of NGOs are going. Now, Reconstruction, this is something that we are all turning our attention to. We just announced a special envoy for Reconstruction for Canada.
Yes. I have
So
noticed that.
Chrystia Freeland has been announced. She was at the YES conference. So this is good. Do you have a special envoy as well, or something similar? What is Japan doing to facilitate or prepare for reconstruction in Ukraine?
We don't have any special envoy like you, but last year, Japan organized the Japan-Ukraine Bilateral Reconstruction Conference.
Here in Ukraine?
No, in Tokyo.
In Tokyo.
Yeah. And since then, we have been sending various business missions to Ukraine and organizing various business conferences. Last December, we have a business conference in Tokyo, and I know.
What sectors is Japan particularly interested in?
One sector is agriculture. That is, of course, a very competitive sector of Ukraine. Japan itself is not agricultural country, but Japan has also very good, processing machines companies or in other areas related to agriculture. And so these businesses are keen to, come here and contribute to recovery of Ukraine. Another area is, of course, IT sectors, and, Ukraine is very, developed in this sector, and Japanese side is very keen to, collaborate and cope, to start jointly do business together. And of course, the infrastructure is a sector that Japan has been doing a lot.
Yes, it's true. You mentioned that about the IT sector. So Ukraine has been a hub now for a long time. In fact, when I was posted here previously, Canada helped support with some of the hub, bringing that hub concept to Ukraine. And they did not need a lot of assistance, but we still assisted where we could, and has become a very important cluster for Europe. But I imagine that a partnership with Japan would only expand that approach more globally. So that makes a lot of sense. Another area that you and I have talked about previously, we know that Ukraine has a serious labor issue, and for various reasons. The war has brought a lot of tensions in terms of more people being mobilized, people leaving the country, and it's in a country that already faced pretty critical demographic challenges. So an area that Canada could offer, and I imagine Japan would too, just based on what you said, is bringing the idea of more automation into industry. Because I always ask this question of Ukrainians, why are you not automating more? Because they never needed to. Their labor was such that they wanted to ensure that everyone had jobs, but now if there's a smaller labor market, then maybe that could be an area. Is that something that Japan is bringing in with engineering firms? Is that something that you're already thinking about?
Actually, not really. As you said that, the problem of Ukraine at this moment is labor shortage, and now that Ukrainian government is trying to encourage women, also veterans to work and make to have a proper opportunity and to have a good job training. And actually, Japanese government and our agency JICA is helping this in area of retraining, and we have with cooperation of Japanese company that oftentimes unfortunately that these job training centers has equipment, very old equipment, not suited for digitalized world.
Yes.
So they like to have latest technology equipment.
Yes.
So we ask Japanese companies to contribute, and these people can learn the latest technology.
I've seen Japanese equipment in some of the some of the businesses I've met. So it's already happening. It's already coming here. One thing I really appreciate you, and it's why I wanted to include you in a conference that Canada had organized, is your very strong position, I find, on the role of women. And you are somebody who values and respects women as equal members professionally. You have in your personal relationship a very strong woman as your life partner, but the way you also speak and have been supporting women here is very it's noted. I've noted that.
Thank you.
How is that? Where does this come from?
I mean, the Canada is very strong and putting a lot of emphasis. I would say that Japan is rather a latecomer in this area, but we have former foreign minister Kamikawa, lady foreign minister,
very strong.
Yeah,
too.
very strong foreign minister. I worked with her under her. And she emphasized WPS issues and women's issues, and I learned from her a lot. And I saw I just mentioned the Ukrainian Japan Reconstruction Conference.
Yes.
On that, Minister Kamikawa was in charge of the conference, and she put women's issue in one of the pillar of the conference. And I saw remarkable Ukrainian women. They are leading the country, and because of the so many men are on the front lines, women have to fill up the many post jobs, and they are doing remarkably well and leading the country. And that's something I really believe Japan must learn from Ukraine.
Thank you for having that position. It is very important, and I think when two countries work together, it's particularly important. So thank you very much for that. Perhaps we could turn a little bit to just Ukraine and Japanese relationships. It's a long history one. Before the cameras started rolling, we were speaking on a couple of people that we know. One is, I'm just going to look down on my notes just to make sure I don't pronounce it wrong, but we were talking about Mr. Nobuhiro Terada, who's been here for how many years, and what is he doing?
30, 40 years, and he's he came here when he's teens. Now he's the artistic director of National Opera and Ballet Theater in Kyiv.
Yes,
and he with his leadership that the National Ballet of Ukraine is visiting Japan twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah, a big followers in Japan, and we are very grateful for his effort. And this is one area that culturally making very strong cultural ties between Japan and Ukraine.
Yes, and. Is ballet popular in Japan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I before, I have to be honest, but before coming here, I haven't seen a lot. But I learned that Japan is one of the country that has so many young, especially girls.
Yes. I did a lot of ballet, so I will confess I did a lot of ballet. So it's, but I know that not everyone likes ballet. But to me, I do. But now I really would like to meet him. So I'm going to make a point. Perhaps you could help me with that.
Yeah, sure.
He won an award, actually, right? He was signed the People's Artist of Ukraine in 2015. So so that's wonderful. And then we were talking also. We just had the Yes conference. And did you have a delegation at the Yes conference?
We have small delegations. Some professors came, and one of them is Professor Okabe.
Yes,
he's visiting Ukraine almost every year, and and he's not actually honorary council
Yes.
in Japan.
Yes, in Kobe, correct?
In Kobe, yes,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
And he's he's a scholar of Japan-Ukraine relationship. It's going back to like of course during Soviet time and even before, and so it's quite interesting to hear the
Yes.
stories he told me about the all ties between
Yes.
Japan and Ukraine.
Yeah, so I met with him as well because he studies the Ukrainian diaspora. I being Ukrainian diaspora, he was curious to know about my story, but then started telling me about something that I showed you, and we'll put a picture up of this here, because I wasn't aware that there was such a thing called Green Ukraine. And I'll look it up specifically. I think I just had it, and I wasn't aware of it till he told me about it, and it was. Yes, it's like a green triangle, blue, and then it's somewhere near Manchuria that lasted for a very short time, but had declared independence. And then with the Soviet advance, they were very violently moved out. Now, it was interesting because Vladivostok also has a sizable Ukrainian population, for example, because many people were brought there and then stayed and created families, but they still speak. You could still hear Ukrainian in Vladivostok, for example. So he was telling me about this. So, and he speaks Ukrainian, and I was asking him because I had a very good friend when I was working on my doctorate, Professor Yoshimitsu Yoshi, whom he knows as well, and she also speaks Ukrainian, and she was very impressive as well. So yes, so there's a lot of interest and a lot of cultural ties. And then you were telling me, which about sumo wrestling culture.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't really know much about sumo wrestling, but I read a little bit after you told me that it's a very important ceremony. I understand about the stamping of the feet and the use of salt. I'm going to get it wrong. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about sumo wrestling, and then we'll get to why we're mentioning it on our podcast.
Sumo wrestling is considered to be Japan's national sport, and it stretches hundreds of years, and it's the Japanese emperor. We have emperor goes to some selected sports event. And the sumo wrestling is considered to be sacred national sport. So, that this is one sport that regularly Japanese emperor visit and see the matchings and so forth.
Okay, and so you were telling me that there are now Ukrainians in the final. The final, I don't know what. Maybe you explain it.
Oh,
and you have a picture too. And I'm going to try their names, and you can correct me. Ionishi and Shishi and Taiho.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we could just put it to the camera.
Yeah. At this moment that
this one here it is.
we have Aonishiki and this is Shishi. And there are two Ukrainian sumo wrestlers in Japan. That especially Aonishiki is doing quite well. That he is now ranked number consider it's called top 3 ranks, and the ranks called Komusubi, and he came very close to win the match, tournament. I mean, the match.
Yes.
Tournament, last time, but unfortunately he did not. But he is considered to be one of the promising star of in sumo wrestling world.
Yes.
In Japan, and I'd like to mention one more sumo wrestler. This is Taiho. He actually, Taiho has already died. He was, very popular sumo wrestler in the 1960s.
Ukrainian.
His father is Ukrainian.
Okay.
Yeah, his father is Ukrainian and mother is Japanese, and but this Taiho is was one of the legendary sumo wrestler, and at the time in the 1960s he won the record number of tournament, and until very recently that he was the most legendary sumo wrestler, and so we have strong ties
yes.
in India in sumo wrestling, in between
yes.
Japan and Ukraine. So that's very
yes.
interesting area. As you know
yes.
that Ukrainians like boxing and wrestling and that kind of sports. So I suppose. Sumo fits for yes. Ukrainian as well.
Ukrainians love Japan and they love Japanese culture. They really do. And I could see the strong ties, even in food. In food. I mean, I love one of the things about diplomacy, and I talked about with Gael as well, just the fusion. I love talking food. So that's just my favorite topic. But we've seen good fusion and bad fusion in terms of some of the food combinations. But I did see a very strange one in Ukraine. I'm just going to describe it and see a reaction. It was a sushi roll. That instead of rice, they used mashed potatoes, and instead of raw fish, for example, they used oseledits, which is anyways. But the oseledits is the traditional marinated fish,
okay.
And instead of pickles, they use sort of the traditional ohirke, like the kwashni ohirke, and they turned that into a sushi roll, like a Ukrainian sushi roll with pride.
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
Yes. That when I first arrived in Ukraine,
yes,
one of the things I'm so surprised is about the sushi in Ukraine. There are so many sushi shops in Ukraine, but because of their love, sushi in Ukraine is very different from sushi in Japan.
Yes,
and oftentimes I find sushi with cheese.
Yes. Yes, that's it. Ukrainians love sushi
Ukraine
with
loves,
cheese.
Sushi with cheese. And I find it odd,
yes,
I have to say that.
Yes. It's no longer Japanese. It's now
not
Ukrainian.
Japanese. Yeah, it's Ukrainian. Yeah.
Yes.
And do you know ramen noodles?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love ramen noodles. Yes.
And there are hundreds of ramen noodle shops even in Kyiv alone. And this has also become Ukrainian food there.
Yes. Well, what's fun about it, this is why I find fusion fun. Not everyone likes it. I like it because it's taking something that you love from another country, and but you bring in local ingredients and local traditions, and you create something new. One thing that no one is adjusting, but Japan also has a fusion culture.
Yeah, that's right.
So one good example here is Japanese whiskey. So they have taken the Scottish whiskey, Scotch and Scottish whiskey, and made a Japanese form. And it's very popular here. I've tasted it. It's lovely.
Oh, thank you.
Very lovely and very popular, and you can find it in stores here and in restaurants. So thank goodness for that fusion, because that served us all well.
Yeah, as you say, Japan is actually really fusion culture.
Yes.
In Japan, you can eat almost all the foods in the world. Not just Japanese. Chinese, Koreans, many European Canadian food.
Poutine, like not the president. I'm talking about the French fries with the curds and the gravy. I just want to make it clear to the audience that in French it's called poutine. Sorry. very ironic, unfortunately. So, one last question, and then we'll finish off. What's your favorite food here?
I like borscht. Actually, I'm trying to make borscht myself, try to cook borscht myself, and still, I'm trying, and I have tried several times. I think I'm improving, but
Yes.
I hope I could make it a good one, good enough one.
Well, I'm looking forward to tasting it.
Oh, thank you.
I did have, I will just let everyone know, I did have a very lovely meal at your official residence.
Thank you.
I felt very special and very honored. You have a Japanese chef who's very good, and he dedicated a whole meal to Canada, and I was very touched. So I just want to thank you. I was served lobster. I was served crème brûlée with maple syrup. So it was very lovely. So thank you very much. And just want to thank you for your friendship in the G7 group as ambassadors, you as a person. I can sense that you are really making full use of your time here. You're very much enjoying the experience, and you're just a lovely colleague to have. So thank you very much for everything that you're doing for the G7 group, for Ukraine. And is there anything you would like to say before we end the podcast?
Oh, so thank you so much for having me, and also thank you for coming to my residence, and also thank you for mentioning myself, and it's my secret weapon.
Yeah, that's a good one. Food diplomacy is a good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's great to be here, and I really always appreciate your leadership in G7 Ambassadors Group, and your leadership in
Thank you.
in women's issues, and children's issues, and I'm so lucky to be working with you here in Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, this has been a great podcast. I've had a conversation with the Ambassador of Japan, Nakagome Masashi. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Natalka Cmoc. You've been listening to Off the Record. Thank you very much for joining us today.